Right, we are back with probably the most stunning piece of resin art jewellery you've ever seen. Now, this one is actually quite straightforward. So, many of you have seen me using this new tech. Now, you don't have to, look, the magnet's attracted my pin. You don't have to use this. There is an alternative version out. I actually prefer the alternative version, which is just a really quick and easy pull tab light. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Now, I have these, you saw in the previous video where we made the tree which lights up with the ring. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's really, really stunning. It's like a sunset in a pendant. So, a similar thing, but this one has got a really stunning Tiffany vibe. So like a Tiffany lamp, stained glass window kind of vibe. We're going to be using this one. Now, I did have trouble finding the link for this mix set in the US, but I think I found the links just for these. So I'll pop those in the description box below. And we're also going to be using one of my favorite hacks I came up with quite a while ago, the Elmer's glue hack. We used this to make dipping resin once. We're going to be using that again to really transform this into something absolutely crazy. So we are going to need some colours. I'm using the Let's Resin mica powders. We're going with a spring green, which is almost like a Tiffany blue. It's close enough for my liking. We've got a lawn green and we're going with the fuchsia. This is from the mica set. It's 36, I think, 36 colours. Again, 10% discount code in the description box below. So all we're going to do, now there are going to be a couple of options on doing this. Let me talk you through it. So we're using the Let's Resin UV resin also. I should have left my bottle upside down. It's running low. I'll have to crack another one open in a moment. So I'm just going to pour some of that in there. And we're going to start with the fuchsia. So I'm just going to add some of the fuchsia mica powder into my mixing cup. Not loads, because we do want it to cure. I'm just going to grab one of my cocktail sticks and just thoroughly mix that in. Now we're going to take our hardware and I'll show you why the PVA glue is needed with this. If I just take that coloured UV resin and try and get that to, you might get lucky depending on your brand. I might actually get lucky in this video. It didn't work like that last time. So the PVA glue might not be needed. You might need it in the bigger windows, but I'm just going to cure this as I go. So I wasn't expecting that to hold actually, I must admit. It didn't last time. And what we can do is just begin to colour each of the little windows, and you can go over that layer if you want, just to make it stronger. It does look better if you give it 2 layers. And again, one of these torches are really a big must for something like this. So what we can do is just go around. It's a little bit time consuming, but guys, when you see the results, it's definitely worth it. And the trick is to kind of really quickly stir it so that it sticks to all of the walls. Otherwise it just keeps popping and it keeps opening. What we can do when we get to a certain stage, we can pop it under our big lamp just to give it a full cure. So yeah, and plan your colours before you commit. So just sit and look at the piece, try and work out, you know, where you want your colours, how you want it to look when it's finished. So I'm just going to continue filling these and also probably some bits at the top. But I'm probably going to need the PVA glue with some of the bigger windows. I think I'll go in with these teardrop areas with the fuchsia colour as well. See what I mean? It's really easy, but you might just, depending on the UV resin you're using, you might need to do the little hack with the PVA glue, which I'll show you when it comes to using that colour. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks, and to all my subs. So this is where we're at. It's only taken about 5-10 minutes. I wasn't really counting. And make sure you're just giving it a quick blast on the inside as well. But like I mentioned, we can pop this under our big lamp. So now I'm going to mix up some of the spring green, which is the colour that I think is closest to the famous Tiffany blue colour. So I'm definitely expecting this to open up as I'm applying it. So again, quite fast. We need to swirl it so it kind of creates that. It's not working, look. And what that's beginning to do on the inside is kind of go everywhere over the back of the other colours. That's not what we want. So we need to change this with the PVA glue hack. And you'll see the viscosity of that at the moment before the glue. Clean that stick up. And it takes the tiniest of dots. I can't even get that to focus. I mean, I don't know if you can see how small that droplet is on the end of my stick. It is tiny. And all we do is mix that. And you see instantly how that changes the viscosity of the UV resin. It's really gloopy now. And that's really going to help. It's almost like a thick, bubble solution. The little bubble ones. It will really help when we apply this. Again, you do have to swirl it quite quickly. You see how that has clung to the metal. So that much quicker, much easier method of doing this. And again, if it's too clear, you just add another drop on the top and cure it. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is just add some PVA glue to your clear resin. You could go over the whole piece in clear to create the windows, and then after that you could then apply the colors. It's entirely up to you. Otherwise, what you might have to do is do the PVA trick several times with different colors that you're using. It could be easier just to do that with clear and then go over with normal, just to save a bit of time. But it's so much easier and a lot less mess. Love the PVA glue hack. One thing I forgot to mention is that what you could do is do all the smaller areas before adding your PVA glue to your resin. Not that it really matters, because you can still do those smaller areas with the PVA glue mixed in. It's really not a problem, but it's an option for you. And you'll see as well, you can make a little bit of mess, because when it goes over the sides, it kind of only really wants to sink into that window anyway. So I'm just going to continue going around with my colors, and then I'm going to go in with my lawn green, and I'll show you afterwards. Okay, I'm almost at the end. What I'm doing now is just going over the red areas just to make them raised out, just to give the piece a little bit more feature, or I don't know, texture. Well, I really don't care what the word is, but you know what I mean. Just making it all stand out a little bit better. Give it a bit more 3D-ness. See what I mean? It's looking really, really nice. So it's absolutely stunning. I mean, imagine you could put keepsakes in there, and these locks are really sturdy. They really do click nicely. So you could put, yeah, like I said, keepsakes in there, but I'm going to make it light up like a Tiffany lamp. So again, we do have the options. We have, I don't think these are ideal for this. I mean, I love the tech. I love how it works. But in the previous video, you saw me put the magnet into a ring. Now with something like this, it can be a little bit tricky to get the light to interact with the magnet. You kind of have to find the sweet spot. So, I mean, it does work. I'll show you with the lights off shortly. But again, it's just a little bit fiddly. Now with these things, these are really, really cheap. You just pull out the tab, and I've tested these. In an old video, I left one on my desk for days, and it still had some life. I mean, look at the difference. And again, you'll see it with the light off shortly. It's a little bit more fiddly because you have to open it to get the light out to put the tab back in. You might have switch ones. I know you can get the versions with little switches on. It's a bit fiddly with the tab, but it just gives you ideas and options. But I love how this turns out. So this is one that you may have seen me post on my other platforms. So I actually modified this part here. Now I had to be really, really careful because I had to file down quite close to some of these circuit board areas to get it to fit inside this. I mean, this is one that I haven't finished, and you'll see it just doesn't fit properly, and then the lid wouldn't close. So I had to really work on this piece to get it to, and I glued it in and then reinforced it through the windows at the back just to make sure it's not going anywhere. So that can then be closed. And again with the magnets, I'll just grab these ones. But I mean, imagine a company's probably gonna do this, and after seeing the video, you'll probably see these on Amazon in a few months' time, where somebody's mass producing them. But I mean, there's definitely options with the different hardware as well. But it was quite fiddly to get that to fit perfectly. But the thing that I needed to bear in mind was the access to the battery, so that I could easily, I say easily, you do need something to poke it out, but the battery can be changed without the piece having to be discarded once the batteries run out. So I think that's pretty epic, to be honest with you. But this is a much simpler option. We can just pop it in, lock it up. I mean, imagine wearing that to a party or a night out somewhere. I mean, you are going to be the center of attention. This light's a little bit temperamental, but it works. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subbed, hit that button for me, help the channel grow. We are flying through the 100,000k now. I think we're at about 117k, I think. So thank you to everyone who's helping the channel grow. That is absolutely incredible, isn't it? I've got some light coming in through the window behind me. But the good thing about it is that even without the light, it's just as stunning. And this was the other one. The Tiffany style blue really shows through better because that's a white light. This one's a yellow light, so I do need to get some white light, white LEDs instead of the warm white or yellow. But there you go. Absolutely incredible resin art jewelry. Pretty simple to make unless you're making something like that. I don't mind doing a separate video on this, but again, it's quite a complicated procedure, and the hardware needs to be, it was very, very tight. Right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you for the next one. Bye for now. I forgot to show you with the magnet light. You can see that blue is much, see the white light is so much nicer than the yellow. Look at that. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah, again, see you for the next one. Bye for now.